Good afternoon. My name is Ana Guerrero. I come from Spain, and I'm here representing the University of Zaragoza, the Department of Animal Production and Food Science. That were my home institution until 4 months ago that I moved to Brazil to develop my postdoctoral study. And all this work was developing here in Zaragoza. As it has been commented, we studied the slaughter rate, winning Icomst effect on carcass and meat composition in lab. So, lamb production is worldwide spread. This species really antiquity with a higher capacity of adaptation to different environments and different production systems and different regions around the world and different resources. So, in Spain, as in other Mediterranean countries, still lamb production is considered a traditional sector where farmers sell directly their product to a slaughterhouse and abattoir. However, the last decade is starting to develop, to exist, a new intermediate fattening centers that are fattening units that are placed in ways are associated traditionally to a farmer association, to a cooperative, and in this farm, animals are breeding together and are finished and fed with concentrate and straw. Why this fattening unit? Because they led to increase the farmer income by marketing a larger number of animals. And in this new fattening unit, we obtain a product more homogeneous in order to homogenize the product. So in this fattening unit, we breed together animals from different farms and consequently animals from different management. Obviously from both sexes, we have female and male, and with a different weighing system. Animals usually are classified when they arrive to the fattening center. They are classified according to the initial weight, and are breeding together until reach a commercial live weight in which slaughter is developing. So in the same batches, we found animals with a really different origin characteristics and management. Another thing that is typical of this fattening unit is that the final product is associated to some quality brand or some certification of meat quality, as could be a protected geographical indication. And in our case, we wanted to know if this variability in the management and in other factors affect the quality of the final product with this commerciality, because we know that the factors that modified meat quality are really higher. We want to know if this final product that in this concrete case is Ternasco de Aragon with a quality level, if it could be modified by all these characteristics. So our aim was assess the effect that age of the slaughter, winning access, have on carcass quality and meat composition in lamb. For do this, we use 80 lamb from Raza Aragonesa breed, that is a regional breed or my region. We use 41 females, 39 males, almost 50-50. All animals were from single bear and randomly selected from the same farm between the animals that were preparing to be finished in a large cooperativa called Pastoria. So they are all animals, commercial animals. We had the 80 lambs, and we reached 40 days of age. They were divided into different groups. One group was weaning, transported to a feedlot, to a fattening unit, and the other 40 lambs were kept with the mother in weaning and kept in the original farm. Both groups, weaning and unweaning lamb, have the same concentrate, have the same alimentation, based on cereal and free access to water and cereal straw. The difference was that unweaned obviously has access to mother milk. In each group, it was divided again in 2 different groups and slaughtered at 2 different ages, or 70 days or 100 days. So we have 4 groups. In each group, we have 10 females and 10 males, and some animals were weaning, other unweaning, and 2 different slaughter rates. Here we have some photograph about the fattening unit that you can see the farm to illustrate the work. And when animal reached 70 or 100 days, they were slaughtered. 1 hour after the slaughter, we reached the hot carcass weight. And the next day, 24 hours after the slaughter, we obtained the conformation and fatness score according to Colomer and Rhodes pattern. And we took some morphological measurements as external carcass length and room perimeter. We extract Longissimus thoracis from the left right, and it was transported to our laboratory of meat quality. And here we sample. The first sample was from T1 to T3 to assess fatty acid composition. The next was T3 to T6 to assess proximate composition, and there were another sampler that I don't want to present here because it's part of the thesis master of my partner. All samples were vacuum packaged and frozen until the moment to be analyzed. For proximate composition, it was assessed by international standard of meat and meat products. We calculate the percentage of moisture, protein, fat, and axis. It was developed in INTA laboratory. Fatty acid composition was determined according to Blight and Dyer methodology with extraction of chloroform and methanol afterward formation of methyl ester, and a gas chromatography in order to obtain of each animal, of each sample, of completely fatty acid portion, as well as summatory of saturate, monoinsaturate, polyinsaturate, omega-3 and omega-6, due to the importance of the ratio that has been previously commented in the other presentation. So the statistics was development with a software, SPSS. Slaughter rates, weaning, and sales were the main effect, the fixed factor, and was on 2 for 2 for 2 under interaction. Now I'm going to show the table with the results. Here in this first table, we have the significance of the 3 effects that we studied. We can observe as slaughter rate was the most important, which had higher difference, but in this case, in carcass characteristics, also weaning and sales had effort in the majority of attributes. According to slaughter rate, animals that were slaughtered with 100 days, as it was expected, we obtained better conformation, higher fatness score, higher core weight, and also higher length and room perimeter. Weaning also affects the majority of parameters. Animals that were kept when their mother and they were unweaning, presenting better conformation and higher fatness score, and also a higher weight and room perimeter. However, carcass length was the same. In relation to sex, if animals were female or male, as it was expected, also had difference, being the male with a better conformation and bigger. However, there were no difference in fatness as it could be expected. In relation to proximate composition, the unique factor that affected was the slaughter rate. Older animals with 100 days presented a higher percentage of fat and a lower percentage of moisture. And related to sex and weaning, there were effects that they had no difference between the groups, being all the values normal for the species and the age of the animals. Here in this table, we can see the significance of fatty acid composition. And again, the most important factor was slaughter rate. having winning effects or only in some parameter, and sex practically inexistent. When animals had 100 days, we found a higher percentage of monounsaturated fatty acid, lower or polyunsaturated, higher omega-6 and lower omega-6 and omega-3. And all this difference could be associated to the time that animals were eating, were intake, the time of intake or concentrate. So younger animals, according to their ratios, could be had a more healthy meat than animal with 100 days. Also, we found some difference between the animal that winning and unwinning, and here a tendency on saturated fatty acid due to the influence of mother milk in the lamb. Animals that were kept with the mother had a lower percentage of polyunsaturated fatty acid and a lower percentage of omega-6. And consequently, due to the higher percentage of saturated fatty acid of animal unwinning, this ratio was better for animal winning and the other for animal unwinning, influenced probably by the ewe's alimentation that has a high quantity of lucerne and high quantity of omega-3s. And the difference for the sex were minimal. So, as conclusion, we can say that age of the slaughter is an important factor to be controlled due to its influence in carcass quality and lipid composition. However, animals should be younger than 100 days old, since they produce heavy carcasses that would not classify as light lamb in our system. Weaning reduce the size of the animal, also increase the polyunsaturated fatty acid percentage in the meat due to the higher rate of short-saturated fatty acids in the muscle of unweaned animals coming from the mother milk. And sex should not to be taken into account while checking this parameter, unless heavier carcass we want to be obtained. So thank you for the attention.